All right, friends, today we're going to be inspired by the book Wonder, and we're going to make a self-portrait that's about more than what we look like. We're going to do half of a self-portrait to make sure we leave lots of space for words. So to start, I have this stencil for you. You're going to line it up with the side of your paper, straight edge to straight edge, and go ahead and give it a trace. That turns into 1/2 of my head. From my head, I'm going to make a line that goes down. That's my neck. And then I'm going to go out further than my head and down. That's my shoulder. I can make a line for my shirt. As you're doing this, I want you to do something called feather drawing. Feather drawing is like this. So you probably can't even see that line. I can see it in person close up. I want you to draw really light until you get it right. We're gonna start by doing a feather drawing line right across the middle of our paper. So it's about 1/2 and 1/2 right now. This is going to be the line where my eye goes. Now I'm going to go to the bottom half of my paper and I'm going to divide that 1/2 in 1/2. That's the bottom of my nose. Now I'm gonna make a line that divides the bottom part of my face in 1/2, and I'm gonna go ahead and do those a little darker just so you can see in the video, but yours are gonna be super duper light. We're going to start with the eye. You have a worksheet that looks like this. It does it a little bit in a different order, and that's totally fine. I just like to start with the eye, so whatever works best for you. The eye is going to line up about in the center of this area, and I'm gonna start with a rainbow, just a kind of arced line, and then a smiley face line underneath. This makes sort of an almond shape, which is the shape of our eye. The iris of your eye is the colored part, and that's almost a full circle. You can see that along the top there, I kind of stopped it. Now I'm going to go ahead and make a dot in the center for the pupil. If I want to, it's not required, but if I want to, I can add eyelashes. If your eye looks like it's open too big, like it's open really high, you can make an eyelid. Let me grab an eraser here real quick, because I think my eye looks like I'm surprised, and I don't want my self-portrait to look like I have surprised eyes. So to make an eyelid, I just go ahead and make a line underneath so it looks like my eye has that little top part, and then I think I'll put a couple of eyelashes on. Now above my eye, I'm gonna make my eyebrow. I like to do this kind of with a sketchy line because eyebrows aren't really straight lines. They're made up of little pieces of hair. I know I don't have hair. I'll go back and do that later. Now I'm gonna make my nose. I'm just kind of making a really, really light line from the corner of my eye there. And now I'm going to make a parentheses or a macaroni noodle. Then I'm just gonna curve up and over, and I'm gonna let it go right off my paper because the other half of my nose is over there. Now I'm gonna make my lips. This is the center of my lip right here. And if your line's too low, you can always change it, but I'm just gonna make a line that goes across there and then another line here. Now you'll notice I'm missing a couple things. I'm missing my ears, so I'm gonna make my ear. Your ears go from your eye to your nose. And a big thing I'm sure you noticed I'm missing is my hair. I'm gonna sketch in my hair. I have bangs, you might not. My bangs go all the way down to touch my eyebrow, so I made just kind of a sketchy line right there. And then it comes down behind my ears. And I'm gonna draw the shape of my hair right here. When I'm done with that, I'm gonna grab a Sharpie and I'm ready to outline. I wanna make sure I do not outline this line, or that line. These 3 lines are all called guidelines, and they're temporary lines that are there just to help you as you start your drawing. We're going to erase those shortly. Another thing I would not like you to outline is your eyebrow. Eyebrows will look like makeup eyebrows if you do them in black. It won't look like a hair natural eyebrow. Same with hair. I'm not gonna color it all in. Even if my hair is black, don't color it all. You can make a couple lines that imply the texture, but you're just outlining the shape of your hair. So you'll see I'm just going around my hair. I'm gonna make a couple texture lines, but I am not coloring in my hair, even if my hair is black. If I want to, I can add a design to my t-shirt. That might be something fun. And after this, I need an eraser because I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna erase the guidelines. Now my guidelines aren't gonna go away all the way because I wasn't feather drawing. I drew kind of dark so you'd be able to see. Yours, since you're feather drawing, will totally go away. Now the next step in this project is to add words. Words that describe you. Describing words are called adjectives, and we're gonna use positive describing words to show what you are like on the inside. A huge list of words that describe people. And you're gonna go through this list and find ones that say about you. So something about me is, I think I'm pretty creative. So in the background here, I don't need to do rows like I'm writing. I can do things on diagonals, or I can do rows if I want. I want the kind of script I use, the kind of font to match that trait. So I am creative, so I'm gonna kind of use curly letters to show you I am creative. And if I want to, I can do this in pencil first. I'm doing it straight away in marker, so if I make a mistake, I've gotta make it work. So I know that, and I'm making that choice. And I think I'm gonna make some lines coming off it, like creative like lines. And then I'm gonna go through that list and find another word that describes me. I think I am, polite. And I think I'm gonna make polite go this way so I can rotate my paper if I like. And I'm gonna do polite really neat because I think someone who's polite does things in an orderly, neat way. I can make little lines around it if I want to. And then I'm back to the drawing board. I go to this list. I think I'm clever. So maybe I'll write some in cursive, some in bubble letters. If you think you're smart, maybe you'll draw a little brain next to the word smart. I think I'm unique. So to show unique, I'm gonna do each letter unique, differently. So I'm gonna do each one in a different kind of font. And you're gonna work like this until your whole background is totally full of all these words that tell me about you. I'll time lapse you while I do that. Mine is close to done here, but you can see I have a couple little white spots. So when I go in, I like to just add some little designs. I put loving, so I'm gonna put a few hearts around in the background. Maybe I'll put a few peace signs because I do think I'm a peaceful person and I wrote that. Maybe I'll make some little swirlies. I could make a little smiley face to show I'm happy. But I really wanna fill this space as much as possible because we're going to leave this part white and black and only add color to ourselves. So really add as much as you can here. Maybe I'll even make my creative lines curl up around here. So it's black and white, but it's really, really filled in. So you can tell a whole lot about me when you look at this, and now I'm ready for color. I'm gonna start with these multicultural markers. There are a ton of different skin tones in here. And the deal is you can't always tell exactly how they look just by the marker itself. So what I like to do is flip my paper over and color with it a little bit. That color is good for me. But sometimes the colors don't look exactly like they do on the lid of the marker. So it's really good to do a little double check. When I'm coloring with markers, I wanna make sure that I color in all the way. So what I'm doing is I'm outlining all my skin areas, and then I'm gonna move my marker in the same direction to fill. You'll see if I fill like this, it looks kind of sloppy. If I fill moving my marker in the same direction, it looks much more neat. When I'm doing an area where it needs to be filled all the way, I use the side of the marker. When I'm doing a detail, I use the tip. And you can see there where I kind of scrabbled a little bit. Even when I go on top and do it, moving my marker in one direction, you can still see that I was scribbly there. So really try not to do that because markers do show your lines. Also with markers, don't color the same spot over and over again. If you do, your paper will rip. Sometimes when you're using a marker, you'll notice that the paper starts to flake off a little bit. That's the step right before the paper rips. So don't color the same spot repeatedly. Color it once and then move on. So trace around the area I want to color and then move the marker back and forth in the same direction to fill. Now I'm gonna do the same thing with hair color. I know my hair is kind of brownish blonde, so I'm gonna take one that I think is that color and test it out, and then I'll start to color. Now I'll time lapse you while I work on this. Just be sure that when you're using the marker, you're not coloring the same spot over and over, and you're always moving the marker in the same direction so it looks nice and neat. So tracing around, then moving the marker. A couple things I wanted to show you. One is eye color. My eyes are blue, so I'm just coloring this circle area in here blue. I am not coloring the area around. That part stays white. Only the circle part of my eye gets color. The other thing I wanted to show you is eyebrows. You can see that this is empty here. It looks like I don't have an eyebrow. I want to wait until my skin color is totally dry to do my eyebrows. Then I'm going to take my hair color and redo that line. You want to make sure that you use your hair color so it looks like your eyebrow, and you also remember to do it so that way it doesn't look silly. Other thing is, if you don't want to color your lips pink or red, it's fine to do it a skin color. That way it doesn't look like makeup. So I'll show you, here's a skin color, and that works really well for my lips. If I want it to look like I'm wearing lip gloss or something, then I can do pink on top. If this were really yours, you'd wait for it to dry. Since this isn't my beautiful fine piece of art, I'm just gonna go on top. But you wouldn't layer the markers like that because it could rip. So that's what it looks like if you do a lip color, or just do the skin color if you don't like the look of that. So when you're done with this, you're gonna have a cool piece of art. It's gonna show me half what you look like, and the other half is all about who you are on the inside. And this is the part I don't get to see every day. And that's why I love this, is because I get to learn all about you when I see your art project.